Hello. Today we are going to be talking about some music that I enjoy. I'm going to be recommending some shit. In the background, we've got some effluence playing, if you're wondering what that is. I don't know if the mic is picking that up, but whatever. And yeah, let's get into it. The music that I will be talking about slash recommending does not have any specific theme to it. It's just all stuff that I think is interesting that I don't see much conversation around. So first, I will talk about one of my favorite albums, the absolutely legendary Genital Warfare Suicidal Rap Orgy. This album was revolutionary for the brutal horrorcore genre and just important for Australian underground music in general, as it was one of if not the earliest recordings, at least that I know of, from the absolutely legendary Shitwing Records. Um, it was released in like 2003, and yeah, features MC Bush Pig and a bunch of other people. It would be completely impossible to give my favorite song on this album because they're all equally powerful and they work kind of in the same way. And there's not a ton that differentiates the different songs, but they're still all fantastic. The whole album is very strangely produced with these kind of like super low quality, kind of 8-bit sounding beats. Not exactly 8-bit, but like low audio quality that kind of sound like Halloweeny and goofy, but also still like creepy, I guess. Um, and the vocals are a mix of screaming and rapping that um, other members of this project would go on to hone a lot better in future projects. But this is my favorite of MC Bush Pigs because, you know, it's just raw as shit. Everything sounds distorted and stupid. The flows are all over the place and incoherent. The lyrics are just most of the time clearly just thought up on the spot, and it's an absolutely awful record in the best way possible. And you need to listen to it because nothing else in the entire world sounds like it, and it's truly an experience. Next, I figure I'll go in the more metal direction and talk about Total Abolition of All Hierarchy by Sankara, which are a communist war metal band named after the African political figure Thomas Sankara, or whatever his name was, who was awesome, and you should listen to his speeches. Um, Very good band. They also had that other album that was more successful. I forget what it was called, but I feel like this one's a lot more unique. The vocals just ridiculous and really guttural and low and insane. A lot of the themes on this particular release are centered around veganism, which I find awesome. Look at song titles such as Animal Uprising, Decapitate Your Local Dairy Farmer, and Invasive Species, because you don't see that much. I mean, there's obviously like the power violence scene in the 90s and shit like that that talked a lot about veganism. But other than that, I feel like these days you don't see a lot of vegan metal bands. And I'm not actually vegan, but I would like to be. I'm a vegetarian currently. And I don't know. It's just based as shit, and I love it. I love this band. Yeah. The very bassy production too that you see in a lot of war metal. It's super chaotic. It's super raw. Proof that RABM can actually be good sometimes. Finally, I will be talking about Lost Best Gore Bops by Violent Memories. I found this wandering through one of the many slightly different gore grind tags on Bandcamp, and I was pleasantly surprised with a very interesting take on the gore noise genre. Gore noise is not something that's taken very seriously by most people. It is something that people try to avoid thinking about, um, which is understandable, but it is kind of sad because I personally find it to be a very fascinating little scene. I feel like it is probably the most underground scene out there at the moment, at least that I am aware of. And it features a lot of very interesting music. It's easy to say it's just worse gore grind, but I don't know. It is certainly some of the most disturbing and unique stuff I've ever heard, and please go down that rabbit hole. This release in particular takes it in a very odd direction. While it tends to completely lack atmosphere as a genre, I feel like this
album.
style takes the production to such extreme points that it feels almost cavernous. Um, if you think of this kind of music as metal, you're not going to get anything out of it. But if you think of it in a similar way to how you might think of noise music, and you lean into just how odd it is, you can definitely get something out of it. And that's exactly what I get with this release. I think it's fantastic and definitely check it out, please. So that has been my three um, releases that I'm recommending to you today. There's really nothing connecting them at all. I just felt like these are nice. I've been listening to these a lot, and you should check them out.